Hello, Samantha Creative Gardener, and I thought we'd talk bananas shortly. So here is the banana patch. It originally grew from one plant, and now there's about 7 of them here. I've not been able to thin them out. We did have a bunch of bananas. It fruited, and I managed to cut the stem down, I think just about to there, and then I was crowded out, and so now we have the next one in line waiting to produce fruit, which is the one with the tallest, so that one there. And I've just noticed that there are some pups. There's about 3 or 4 down at the bottom there. And I think I saw one round here. Yep. Oops. So there's 7 smaller ones, and the main big one is this one here. And then we've got about 4 or 5 pups down at the base, which I'm gonna try and move. But this is actually the most ideal spot. When it rains, it's on the bottom of a slight hill, so all the water gushes. We're lower than my neighbours, so the water gushes out of the gap in their wall and comes straight down here. It stops here and then goes to the well, which is just over there to the right. But the plant that I had grown, that these have sprung from, was in a different location, and whilst they had fruited, this was like when I first started growing bananas, it fruited and then they seemed to die back, and I thought to myself, let me just move one into a different spot and see if I can save them. And then subsequently the rest of them all died out, and the one that was here, which was that one, which was the first to fruit, it fruited after about, it seemed like 3 years. It was just growing steadily, and then it just sprung up and it gave a good hand of bananas. There was at least 50 bananas on there, so it was really great. But they weren't the ones that ripened, they were green bananas, and even when they were boiled, they still had a kind of it was a weird kind of dryness to them. But once you chop them up and put them with a dish, they were delicious. They were delicious. So this is a very good spot for them. They look very, very healthy. And we've just had a whole lot of rain, so I'm sure that there's going to be a flower coming out of the one that's next to fruit. We just have to be observant, and we've just had a lot of rain, as I said. Look at the clouds. That's an aeroplane taking off, but there was a lot of thunder. Shook the whole house. Anyway, back to the bananas. But somebody asked me about the leaves. So the leaves split when it's really windy. The leaves will split rather than to help protect the plant. And we've got a lot of nice leaves that are whole. And I'd love to make paper from the leaves, the fibres. And I've got a few videos where I've tried to extract the fibre. It's a long process, and I only managed to extract, a very small amount. There has to be an easier way, but I would like to maybe start some things with the leaves. The leaves, you can cook one of the national dishes here called conkeys, and you roll up the cornmeal and the other things that you would make it, and then you put it in a banana leaf, wrap it up, and then you boil it. And there are other, you know, countries that use the banana leaves in that way in terms of cooking. But yeah, in the craft room, I'd love to be able to do something, so I'm going to be doing some more research, and I'll be sharing when I can. The other one now that I've got, and I think it's one of these as well, but unless, I think I was given it as and told it was plantain, so let's have a look. Look at this one. Now this one has only just started to grow this well. It was having a bit of trouble and some critter tried to dig it up, so it was leaning, and I just by chance discovered it. So yeah, it's now flourishing. Look at it. I mean, you didn't see it before, but look at it, it's growing really well. So this was the other spot that I dedicated to be a place for the banana to grow. Again, it's on a slight incline. The water will come down this way and it will hit there first and then go off to the well, which is just there. And yeah, it's growing nicely. Again, it's shielded by the scaevola behind it, so the leaves that are shredded, these were the early ones, and I've just tried to look after it, but it's looking very magnificent. And what I do is just mulch it regularly, so I cut back this scaevola and then I'll mulch it. But yeah, that's the bananas, and I look forward to seeing the fruit that this one produces. And it's just always nice to be able to harvest the fruit from your own garden or for your own space. And then in the background there, you can see the other bananas peeping through. So I'm going to leave it there for now, but that's an update on the bananas. You can see some of my other videos. If you're not yet subscribed, please do. And come and check my Patreon. I sometimes do some, it's an art-based Patreon, so if you're interested in the craft from nature, that's where I'll be placing the information first. Okay, so take care for now.